What's happening, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Game and Geek. This is the podcast where we talk about games and geekery. It's the second one. We haven't done it for about a month now because of the Christmas period, what came around and caused issues for everyone being busy and family related stuff. So yes, today I am joined by Kings. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you very much.
Good. We were supposed to be joined by Mr. Craigie, but unfortunately his new job and then also streaming responsibilities have taken him up tonight. So it will just be ourselves today. We're not talking like fully up to date stuff today. It's just gonna be stuff like what we can cover over the past month and some current stuff. But yes, let's talk about my favourite thing with the New Year's is gaming analysts. Now, this is one of those job roles. So my only comparison for a gaming analyst is a football agent, where it's a made-up job, but they still seem to get paid absolute bucket loads.
We're talking Michael Pachter. What?
Yeah. Mino Raiola, I think his name is. But yes, gaming analysts. Now, these are people who seem to look at the numbers and predict things ahead.
And they tell us what we already knew.
Yes.
Get paid for it.
But I think it's been a bit of a big stir up this year because of some of the specific things that have been said. So
right, lay it on me.
We've got four. I got the four probably like the most, not obscure, but possibly like, the most out there ones. 2 from a Dr. Serkan Toto, and 2 from a Michael Pachter.
Pachter,
yeah. We'll go with Dr. Serkan Toto first. His first one was that a or 2 new versions of the Nintendo Switch will be revealed/released this year. One being a more handheld version, and one being a kind of a Switch Plus version. I think people are predicting that this will probably end up happening with Nintendo's track history with like the 3DS and all. Well,
yeah, sure. How many
the DS generations? Exactly. So it started off with the DS, went through those versions of the DS, the DSi, etc., and then the 3DS, and then the 2DS.
Yeah, there's going to be other versions of the Switch coming along, and it's probably about time to at least hear about them, even if we don't get them.
Yeah, I'm up for this.
Have you got a Switch?
Yes, we've got a Switch. I prefer playing it in the dock, rather in the dock on the TV screen rather than handheld. So a Plus version would be perfect for me, I think, because obviously if that's the case, they're probably going to end up beefing up the dock that it sits in as well, because obviously the Switch doesn't play in 1080p; it only plays in 720.
Oh, I thought when it was docked, it was higher resolution and everything was. I
don't think so, unless it's only upscaled. It might only just be upscaled. So obviously it's not going to be native.
Yeah,
1080, because the dock doesn't actually do anything other than charge and obviously put it up onto your screen. It doesn't actually do anything.
Right. Yeah, but because it's got mains power, it enables the handheld to actually run faster and not worry about power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a glorified charger and projector, really.
Sure.
So obviously,
I really like the Switch. I like the idea of the Switch. The fact that you can be playing a game at home and you can take that console with you and continue your same game on
the go.
It's really fantastic. If I travelled or commuted, then
it would be perfect.
I think it would be perfect.
And I think
I don't do either of those.
Well, I think as well with the games that do tend to come out on Switch, it doesn't need to be like this almighty system of power. Do you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, even Zelda's even Zelda's a massive game. It's huge, and it still runs perfectly on the Switch, even in handheld mode. So I do think that if they do bring them out, I think with the handheld only mode, I don't think you'll be able to take the little controllers off the side, which you can do obviously currently with the Switch. Obviously, you slide the
you slide your what are they called?
I'm trying to think what they call myself now.
Well, you slide them off, don't you? And
Yeah.
If you put it in tabletop mode, you
Yeah.
can use them separate. Or if you're in docked mode, you can use them. They provide, don't they, a little plastic sort of holder.
Yeah.
But I've heard that's really poor, and what you should really be looking at is a proper bespoke
Yeah, it's the
arcade controller.
yeah, I forgot what it's called. Yeah, I think it's a Pro controller. Is it a Pro controller?
Pro controller.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what are the controllers called for a
Still trying
Switch?
to remember.
I know,
want
off
to
the
say
top of my head.
Nunchuck, but that was
Joy-Con.
the extra for the Wii.
Joy-Cons, yeah. The Joy-Con, so with a handheld one, it's unlikely that you'll be able to take them off just because it's a handheld version, isn't it? You know.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, that would make sense, and would presumably cut the cost down a wee bit, which is
Possibly as well.
after.
I mean, I think for me, you'd also need to make the screen bigger because it's got a bigger bezel. It's got quite a big bezel on the Switch.
Right.
It's probably about maybe a centimetre all around.
Really, that much?
Yeah, it's fairly chunky. So
does that matter that much?
well, I mean, if you're making it a specifically handheld console, and if you are making
you want to make it as small as possible,
and if you are also making the Joy-Cons stuck to it permanently, then you've got the whole physical size of it is going to be bigger, really, isn't it? Because obviously you're not going to be able to take the controllers off, so I don't see why you're not going to be able to possibly remove those bezels, make the screen, even if it's the screen's like the unit stays the same size, just making the screen fit the edges.
But if it's going to utilise the same game library, there are some games that require you to remove the Joy-Cons and waggle them around because of the vibration and the game itself.
That's true.
So I don't know. It's like all of these things. It's a prediction. I don't think it's a particularly brilliant prediction to say that Nintendo are working on updating the Switch. It's darn sight more popular and successful than the Wii U has been.
Yeah.
You can imagine them wanting to iterate on it. So
I mean, I think a Plus version is definitely more of an interesting idea.
Something with a better graphics card and a bit beefier.
Possibly, yeah. Bigger battery as well.
Yeah, I've heard it's fairly short.
Yeah, I mean, depending on obviously what games you're running, I think some games, your battery lasts about 3.5 hours without charge.
Right.
But yeah, I'd like to see a beefier unit. But then again, I'm thinking like, if that's the case, obviously it's going to be a case where only certain games are going to be able to run on it. Whereas obviously with the PlayStation Plus, obviously all games can run on it. You can run all
on the Pro.
The Pro. Sorry, you can still play all games on the older versions of the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
don't need to, that's Sony's rules.
Yeah.
Can't make a Pro-only version. Of the game.
So and obviously with the fact that obviously currently the games only play at 720 on the Switch.
Yeah, but some games on the PS4 Pro have a better resolution or frame rate. So there's no necessarily reason that they can't do this similar with the Switch Plus, or whatever you want to call it.
I like I said, I don't reckon it's going to be like a massively huge difference in quality. Like I said, maybe the 1080 and then a bigger battery to obviously to support that as well.
Yeah, those things would be
maybe a better CPU in it perhaps to handle all that as well. So good. Right, let me get my list back up.
Ah, yes. Item number 2.
Yes. So another one from Dr. Toto.
Just because you're a doctor.
Yes.
Does that mean we should pay more attention?
Probably. I think he might be a massive fan of the 70s/80s band as well, Dr. Toto.
We'll all be off to Africa.
Yes. Sony and Microsoft will reveal their next generation of consoles this year. Not release them, but reveal them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too soon for Xbox though, with them just releasing the.
Yeah, they were sort of a year after, weren't they?
After the PlayStation.
Maybe they're a year behind.
Yeah, and it also seems like PlayStation are gearing up to revealing something anyway, with them cancelling it, with them not participating in E3, obviously cancelling their own PlayStation experience last year.
Yes, it's a bit like they're in a sort of a waiting pattern before they get to the point in time when they can say, here we are, here's the next thing.
Exactly, so I think it's an obvious. Yeah, I think it's a bit obvious. I mean, if we do get anything from Microsoft, I don't think it'll be till like the very end of the year. Whereas I do feel like Sony could let us know something as soon as the week before E3 or something. So, yes, those are Dr. Toto's main, I think, standout predictions for the year. Now we're going to Dr. Pachter. Not Dr. Pachter, Michael Pachter. His first one is just outstanding bullshittery, really. Bethesda will reveal/release Elder Scrolls 6 this year due to the massive fuck up. This is what I've literally written down, guys. To the
Is
massive.
that what he said?
Well, no, this is what I've written down.
Oh, okay, it's not his word.
No, this is my words. To the massive fuck up that was Fallout 76, and to regain some good faith from the gaming community. This will never, ever, 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 ever happen.
You don't think that's going to happen this year?
No, well, considering that they obviously rushed out.
They've already teased it, haven't they?
Well, yes, but they've also said that.
What is there more to say?
Well, they also said that Starfield was supposed to come out before that anyway.
Yeah, so they ain't going to be talking about Elder Scrolls.
And not only that, Elder Scrolls 6, they even said was probably going to be either a next generation game or that bordering,
bridging it, straddling the generations.
Yeah. So, and not only that, the whole reason why Fallout 76 was messed up is because it wasn't ready to release anyway. They rushed it. They rushed it out. So with a game like with a series like Elder Scrolls, where it's their most popular franchise, if they want to get, regain some good faith with the community, they're not going to rush that game out.
No, they need to release it when it's ready.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they've already got thingy coming out this year as well. I think they've got Doom coming out at the end of the year, and then they've also got Rage. Is it Rage 2? Not Rage. What was the? Is it Rage 2?
I think so.
Yeah, they've got that coming out as well this year. I think that's in February. So they've already got possibly 2 games coming out this year. I just think bringing out Elder Scrolls is just going to mess up with those sales figures, no matter when they bring out Elder Scrolls, if they did it this year. So,
Michael Pachter is either repeating things that we already know, stating obvious facts, or just making wild guesses in the hope that
So I personally don't think it'll. Yeah, if anything, I think we'll hear about a release window for Starfield. I don't think Starfield is even ready to come out yet. So, because all we got was a teaser trailer for that as well. We didn't see anything more.
Did we not see any proper sort of?
No, it was just a teaser trailer for that, like a name reveal, and that's it.
Yeah, okay.
So, if that's supposed to come out before Elder Scrolls, obviously that's going to be this generation. It's still not going to be this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sod off, Pachter. Next.
Yes, his next one is major game announcements from Take-Two, including a new BioShock game, which I think is more than likely going to be obvious, and a new game from Rockstar, and Borderlands 3 will be announced as well. So Take-Two is like the parent company for Rockstar, 2K, I believe, and I can't remember who it is who does BioShock.
I can't either.
But I believe Take-Two is the parent company of all these sub-studios. I don't think Rockstar are going to be bringing out a new game.
No, I can't believe they're going to be announcing anything.
The only thing I can think of is going to be one of those weird games like they did, like the table tennis.
Right, yeah.
but I can't imagine it being a big platform seller kind of game.
No, I would have thought they'd been so focused on their other projects.
Well, I mean, they've technically got 2 games running simultaneously. Obviously, they've got GTA Online still going.
Yeah. Well, 3 if you count Red Dead as
I mean,
online
I mean they are bringing out single player content, aren't they, for Red Dead as well?
Oh, aye.
Yes. So obviously they're still going to be working on that. Obviously they're going to be working on Red Dead's online component as well. So I just can't see them bringing out anything substantial. Like I said, if anything, it'll be table tennis for the Switch.
Maybe.
I can't think of anything else Rockstar. Obviously, they just re-released LA Noire last year. I think early last year.
I didn't pick it up. I played it on release or soon after release. I enjoyed it. It's good.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I bought that pretty much week 1.
Yeah, I think. Did I do that? It was such a long time ago. I can't remember. What else? BioShock. I think that's more than likely going to be happening. Just because I don't think, from what I remember, I don't think Infinite did as well as they was hoping would do, compared to the first 2 games.
Oh, really? I thought there was a lot of love for Infinite.
I don't know. I think it's one of those like Fallout 4 where a lot of people liked it and then a lot of people really didn't like it.
Okay.
So I think it was a bit of a Marmitey game. Borderlands 3, this is interesting because I love Borderlands.
I've not played them. I think I've got one of them. Borderlands 2, I think. For free
that's
PS
such a good game.
Right, I'd
really
never played it. Never quite got round to it.
Do you know what the premise is, really?
I quite like the art style as well.
I really do recommend
never had the
playing it.
time.
I really do. I think it's one of those must-play games, I think, from the last generation.
Maybe I'll have to try and find some time.
Considering is it like, I think that's coming up to being 10 years old, maybe.
Really?
I think so. Let me have a look. Store page. I'm not sure if it came out at the same time.
They do the whole thing in VR as well.
Yeah, they've just released it. Not quite 10 years. It was 2012 when it was released on PC anyway. So
okay, 6 then.
6, 7 years, yeah. Depending on when, obviously, it came out. When did I say it was? Did I say a date? September. So it'll be coming up. Yeah, it'll be coming up to 7 years later this year, which is a long time really for a game when you're expecting a third one. So yeah, I'll be excited. I mean, there was, I forgot who it was. It was 2K. I think they had some kind of technology meeting that they were doing. I think I talked about this in a GP podcast episode last year at some point, and they were showing off like some of the technology that they've been working on as a studio, and it was an obvious clip from some kind of Borderlands thing that they were working on, because they had the cell shaded graphics. It was kind of that kind of environment that they were working on as well, but they just never confirmed that one was what it was from. So, so yes, they are the major predictions from some of the professionals. I'm wondering, what are your predictions for the year? If you've got anything off the top of your mind.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is Days Gone, but I'm also very worried about it. I have a concern that it might end up being one of those where we saw that trailer with that sort of zombie swarm that made us get all excited, and when it comes out it's going to be a little bit disappointing.
Is it a PlayStation exclusive or is it all consoles?
I just know it's coming to the PlayStation.
I'll have a look. You keep going anyway.
Might be an exclusive. Other than that, I agree with Dr. Toto, I think we are going to hear some things about next generation of consoles, but I'm going to try not to get too overexcited about it, really, because every time I think about it, I think, oh yeah, a new one, and then I just realise that I'm actually perfectly happy with my launch day PS4 Pro. No, just PS4.
Yeah, it is a PlayStation exclusive, by the way.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's one that interests me, but there's not much else coming out. Probably, as I get older, I try and just take these things with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
I'd much rather they announced a game and said it's going to be available in within 6 months. When you hear about a game and it's 3 years out, it's just, what is the point? Why are you telling me this now? It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me these things. It's a waste of my effort.
Yeah. I think.
What have you got looking ahead
well,
to?
Just going on the Days Gone thing, I think it's a little bit of a. I think it's a bit of a daft thing to do because with it being a PlayStation exclusive, what else is also coming out this year which is similar?
I had a quick look through the releases for the
Last of Us Part 2.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
And that is also a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well, The Last of Us has a ready-made audience because the first one was very well received. Everyone really liked it.
Exactly.
I loved it. So they're going to sell lots of those, and maybe instead of cannibalizing on the sales, it'll actually just enhance it because everyone will have zombie stuff on.
It's possible, but I have a feeling that the whole zombie thing is
fading.
Well, I'm going to say no pun intended, but dead and gone.
The zombies are dead.
Yeah, I think it's being kind of done to death a little bit.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, like, I don't know,
Sure.
are people going to be thinking, I'm guaranteed to get a good experience out of Last of Us 2. I'll play that, but am I not going? I don't know whether I'm going to bother with Days Gone because I've got there's no prior experience with a previous version, like a previous game of it.
But if you've seen the little bit of gameplay that we have seen from both games, they look like they could be quite different experiences.
Oh yeah, I agree.
When you've got a swarm of fast-moving zombies versus the very sort of stealth gameplay that we got in The Last of Us, it's kind of different.
True.
So maybe it appeals to people in different ways. We'll see.
I mean, it's also the story, isn't it? Because obviously, for the Last of Us Part 2, it's mainly the story that you. Like, I feel like some of the game mechanics in The Last of Us aren't brilliant, for me personally. But I think it is mainly a game that you play for the story and the experience rather than. I hate the shooting mechanics in The Last of Us.
It's been a while since I've played it.
It was
a bit chunky, was it?
Well, it's considering that you've only got a limited amount of ammo.
Yeah,
you're not very accurate.
Shooting.
Yeah.
If you shot and you missed, or you didn't do something dangerous.
Exactly. So.
What a waste of a bullet.
Yeah, and then I think this looks like the Last of Us. Days Gone looks like a bit of an open world RPG.
Yeah, that's the feel.
Yeah, whether there's just going to be too much story, and if the story is going to be too similar, because obviously with it being a survival horror game, you can't really. There's not much leeway, so to speak, in the story, is there? Unless you go completely out there of the box.
I don't think they said very much about the story.
No,
I'm guessing that it's going to be a small group of
survivors.
Small group of survivors that you're part of versus all the zombies and
other people,
and other groups of survivors that are all out to get you as well.
And obviously, I think the only difference really between that story and The Last of Us is obviously you possibly got the cure to the zombies, haven't you? With obviously the young girl who you're with.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, if you take Ellie away from that scenario, you're basically it's the same situation, isn't it? Obviously, you're a survivor or a group of survivors,
and that's that.
Trying to survive, and obviously you got the zombies and the other survivors. So are they going to be too similar? And obviously, if that's the case, I think most people are going to be more likely to play the guaranteed better experience, probably, than take a risk.
Well, I think I'm just going to be sensible and wait for them to come out and wait for people to review them, and then we'll see.
I mean, Days Gone...
Possibly even wait until next year.
Yeah,
and get them on sale.
I think Days Gone it's been done by... Is it Sony Benz? SIE Benz? Yeah.
It's end of April, I think, isn't it?
Is it indeed? Let's double check. Yes, April 26th.
Yeah.
But they are known for like 2 Uncharted games, but they were on the Vita.
Oh, the Golden Abyss.
Yeah, Golden Abyss and Retribution.
Don't know that one.
That was Resistance. Sorry, I was getting mixed up. Golden Abyss and Fight for Fortune.
Don't even know
Uncharted games they did on the Vita.
There was another Uncharted.
Yeah. Then they did the Siphon Filter games in the late 90s, and then going up to mid 2000s. They haven't really done that many games, considering how long they've been around for. But so we'll see. I probably won't get it. I mean, I only got The Last of Us 2 just for the story anyway, because it's one of those must-play games.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, unless Days Gone turns out to be similar,
like anything, just wait for it to come out, and if it's good, it'll get good reviews, and you can pick it up when it's appropriate.
Yeah,
we can't buy everything because it's just
too many games. Yeah. But I think for my main prediction, I do think that PlayStation will announce their console this year.
Yeah,
and I think. I want to be right with my saying with them doing it like the week before E3, just to like throw it in E3's face, where even when you go to E3,
do it just before,
and then everyone's still going to E3, is still going to be talking about the PlayStation 5.
Well, that wouldn't be bad timing, would it?
No.
From Sony's point of view.
No, but yes. I think that would be interesting.
Okay, but even if they were to do it then, when would you think we might see it actually being released?
Christmas next year. They always pretty much they always release around like Sony and Xbox anyway.
Yeah,
they always release like November.
October, November.
So I can see that happening, unless they decide to do a Nintendo and release it in the March or April. Obviously they did that with the Switch, didn't they?
Yeah, I think you can certainly see the release schedule for the PS4 slowing down. So you would imagine that's because games are now being developed that are going to come out on the next one.
Yeah,
we know development kits have been out in the wild for quite a while, obviously.
Yeah.
With severe NDAs and everything else associated with it, which we haven't. But so 2020.
I mean, there's still games obviously that are being released towards the end of this year and even next year. So obviously, I don't think it's going to be within the next 12 months that it gets released. Probably not even the next 18 months. So I do think at the earliest it will be Christmas next year. So. Yeah, because it also means like announcing a console 2 years before it comes out, doesn't it? And that's not going to be good.
No, as I say, I don't want to know. I know you're working on it, so you don't really need to generate any hype. Tell me when it's about to come out, and then we can all get very excited.
It's like the Xbox One X. They obviously announced that at E3, not the year what's just gone, but the year before that. So there's a whole year.
Was it a year from announcement to release?
Yeah.
Well,
in fact, no. I think it was more. I think they announced it at E3 2017. Then I think they just called it the Xbox Scorpio, and then the following year, they said it's the Xbox One X, and then gave all the details about it then, and then in the November it was released.
I can't remember. I wonder how long there was between announcing the release date and the actual release date, because there's a difference, I guess, between saying we're working on something and then saying this is when you can get it. I'd still rather just not.
Yeah, well, I think it was E3, the previous year, 2017. I can't remember. It goes by so quickly sometimes.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter. We'll see what happens when it happens. I'll tell you what's quite interesting though is the Sony and the PS Plus, and dropping off the Vita and PS3 games in March. I want to say March. It might even be February, but very soon. We've only got a couple of months left of getting the older consoles. So, I mean, it's obviously clearing the way for the next generation, as well as acknowledging that there's very few games left that they can.
That is true. I mean, does that mean that we're going to get more PlayStation 4 games? Well, I mean,
I think you might see better games, or you might see some PSVR games coming in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to get rid of the PS3, because obviously the PlayStation 4 can play some games kind of backwards compatible, can't they? If they're being...
Yeah, often they have crossplay as well.
Yeah.
So the PS3, you can play them on the 4.
Yeah, so...
There might be some of those coming in.
Yeah, so... we'll have to see. I didn't know that, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, they announced that, I think, about a year in advance. So it would have been towards the beginning of 2018.
Right.
And that's ending. So, you know, it's clear... When the PS5, or whatever it's called, comes out, they're going to need... Well, I think there would be a lot of negative press if they decided not to give any games away with your Plus subscription for the new console.
It depends what the console is, I suppose. If it's literally if it's a full-on next-generation console where games are being made solely for the PlayStation 5, rather than like a console upgrade.
Well, yeah, sure, but I think it's gonna. I think that the 5 will be capable of running 4 games, so they can still keep. They can possibly do that straddling of generations and saying, you know, here we are. This is PS5 compatible. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But it's interesting, and it's an indication that Sony are slowly dropping off the old consoles.
Yes. Right then, so let's move on. We've got a new Marvel game that's being worked on. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure what it is yet, but there's former Blizzard developers working on it. Obviously, Blizzard, famous for World of Warcraft, Hearthstone as well, which is obviously this particular team. They've got a new studio called Second Dinner, and they're working on a Marvel game over there. So they are known for working on Hearthstone, so it could be more of a mobile / PC centric game, a card game maybe, perhaps, but there's nothing else being
details.
Mentioned. No, and it does kind of run true to what I've been saying about the Marvel games, where it seems like they're handing off one specific game to each of the consoles or PC. Instead of what was it LucasArts did with the Star Wars, they gave it all to EA, and then obviously EA patterns them out between all their studios, but they're all EA obviously owned. Right.
Okay. A bit like Call of Duty being developed by different teams.
But it seems like Marvel, obviously they've got Spider-Man on PlayStation. There's another one being worked on by a company owned by Square Enix. There's obviously this one being done possibly PC or mobile. It seems like they're obviously trying to dish out the wealth rather than selling off the property as an entirety.
Well, I'd rather that than hearing constantly about development teams being shut down.
Yeah,
a game didn't do quite as well as the.
Yeah, it's not reaching certain standards.
Yeah. But what can we say? We don't know anything about it other than there's a game coming. So
So, but I mean, if it is going to be like a mobile game, I can't imagine it's going to be too far away from release.
No, they're a bit quicker to develop.
Yeah, so especially if it's more of a card game, and if they have that experience as well.
Yeah, how hard can that be?
Yeah, exactly. So I want to talk about the next thing. So if people are familiar with Minecraft, obviously the game from, I want to say it was 2008 or 7 that it came out. Minecraft.
Yeah, it's got to be
which is scary, really, considering it's still relevant to a certain extent now. 2000. Well, in fact, it was 2009, so it's 10 years old this year.
10.
There is rumours, or not exactly rumours, but there is a new player on the field in the whole blocky centric games, survival games, called Hytale. Now it's being developed behind the guys over at Hypixel, which I do know they basically made themselves up on playing Minecraft. These guys behind making all those big machines that have out of all the redstone mechanics and stuff in the game. They made mini games on servers, and they actually the guys behind the Hypixel server for Minecraft. So they're pretty big on the whole Minecraft front. Now I know this game, they've made their own studio, basically called Hypixel Studio, and the game that they're working on is called Hytale.
And it doesn't half look like Minecraft.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But like I said, it's being touted as a Minecraft killer, or Minecraft, like a sequel to Minecraft, so to speak.
Oh, see, that's a nicer way of putting it.
Yes.
If you like Minecraft, you'll love this too.
Yes, but then again, though, people over at Microsoft and Mojang before that, they have had 10 years to, make whatever improvements to keep on top of the competition, really.
Yeah, and they have added things.
They have added things. I'm not going to take that away from them, but have they really made 10 years worth of progress?
Well, you can say.
Yeah. Let me have a quick look, because I'm pretty sure I saw something about the whole how much money it's raised, or who it's in the working with, or something. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll put up the video now so you guys can watch it while we're talking about it. So yeah, it's obviously, as you can see on the video, it's very blocky and reminds you very much of Minecraft, but it has all that detail that Minecraft doesn't have, I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it has the Minecraft feel, but a bit sort of next gen or something.
Yeah,
with a neck. As though the blocks are smaller,
Yeah.
A bit more detail on them.
Yeah,
but is that enough? It's still got to have something more.
Looking at it, I mean, personally for me, in Minecraft now, there's only really one boss, and that's the Ender Dragon at the end. Literally, that's right at the end of the game. So you got to go through obviously all the other things. Whereas this thing's got things like mini bosses. I just think the detail in everything else within the game is phenomenal.
Does it have a story per se?
I don't think so. I think you make your own story within it. But there is the whole adventuring aspect to it, though. So there are things like ruins also within the game, like there is in Minecraft now, but they're a lot more detailed. It does seem like it's Minecraft, but detailed rather than what it currently is now. But they're going to have all these other things with it as well. Like the servers are going to be there. It's going to have like really powerful modding tools as well. Which you can mod Minecraft. It's easy to mod, not easy, but you are able to mod Minecraft. But this game already comes with the modding tools that you need for the game. But I just think it looks incredible, really. And when you compare it to what Minecraft is, it makes you think like, well, Microsoft bought Mojang 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago now, for I don't know, a stupid amount of money, whatever it was. I want to say it was something like, was it like 2 billion or something?
It was an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, and granted, they have obviously brought out a few updates in the last few years, but it's nothing.
Yeah, my daughter plays nothing else except Bed Wars.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's I don't think it's anything. It hasn't really. I don't think it's really drawn players back into the game. Whereas like obviously No Man's Sky, where it's brought out these updates which are like, there's so much, like it's nearly changed everything about the game.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think it really has changed the main.
Well, I don't have the experience with
well, I suppose, yeah.
Minecraft, so I don't know. I don't know how much has changed.
It just feels like it's stalled, or maybe it's the fact that nothing else was as successful as it, and it's just rested on its laurels.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's kind of 2014 it was bought.
Okay.
So it's coming up to 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. How much was it? Does it actually say? Oh, I don't think it actually says how much it was bought for.
Yeah, and Notch is still just sleeping in money.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to see how much it actually sold for, but you won't show me.
Perhaps it wasn't announced, wasn't made public.
No, I think it was because of obviously how much like the size of the actual money, and for it being an independent studio. Oh, here we go. It was $2.5 billion.
Yeah, see, that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, especially for an independent studio as well. So
small number of developers.
Yes, so
But getting back to the Hytale thing, if it can have if it can provide a significant improvement on Minecraft, even if it's just iterating on what Minecraft does,
but improving it, yeah. And like I said, the whole Hypixel servers are very popular already, and they're already in Minecraft, so they already have a foothold in that kind of gaming sphere anyway. So the fact that players know who already play in their server already know what to expect, kind of. So
yeah.
Sorry,
I was going to ask, did the news article indicate any sort of release date? Or
not that I know of. I didn't actually see an article. It was mainly a YouTube video that I saw, and then I looked into it.
Right.
Let me have a look, see if there's a window. It just says Hytale is most likely to be going to be released in 2019.
Platforms?
I think it's just going to be PC to begin with.
That's got to be the biggest sort of market for.
But it makes more sense, doesn't it? Especially if it is. It's kind of like a semi indie game, isn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's got indie roots. That's for sure.
So obviously, if it does, I suppose if it does extremely well, and obviously it's with the backing, like I said, from what I remember from the video that I watched, the figure that was banded around was around 33 million for funding to make the game to begin with. So, and I do believe they've got funding from other actual real studios as well. So, we'll have to see. But it will definitely be out this year, more than likely. If not, it will be next year.
And you're interested in this, do you think this is something you're gonna buy?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Right. Okay.
Unless obviously,
no hesitation there, was there?
No, I mean unless obviously things come out about it where it's just
where you learn that it's
not what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Expected to be.
Right now, it's on your purchase list.
Because I got Minecraft not exactly when it came out, but I think I've had it for nearly 10 years. So it was 2009 that I got it. It must have been 2009, yeah. So I've had it since probably the release year anyway, and I barely touched it really. I started playing it again the other day. I think that's the first time I've played it in 2 years, maybe 3.
Well, your kids will be playing it soon, won't they? If they're not already.
Oh, possibly if it's still going, but if not, they'll be playing Hytail.
Yes.
Sorry. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Right then.
Well, that's exciting. That's interesting news.
It is. It is. I'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And that's all the gaming stuff we got for you this week. We'll move on to movies. There's only three things here to talk about. So one mainly for me because I'm a massive nerd. Pokemon Mewtwo is getting a remake.
Nobody cares.
Everybody cares. God damn it. Yes, this was the first Pokemon movie that was released. I think I want to say it was. Oh God. Because I know was it 20 years ago? A couple of 2 or 3 years ago, and then it must have been. It might be the 20th anniversary this year for the film.
Really? I'll look it up for you if you like.
Go on then. But I think the biggest thing about this is obviously it's computer animated. It's not hand drawn like it was.
Okay, right, yeah.
Many years ago. But I mean, it says it's. I think it's just called.
Oh yeah, there's a Pokemon the first movie that was '98.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's got two names. It's Pokemon the first movie or Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Yeah, it did say that. Yeah, also known as. Yeah.
What year was it? 97.
98.
98. So it'll be 21 years old.
Yeah.
So but I know it's getting. I believe it's getting released May or April this year in Japan, and then November elsewhere, which is quite a big gap in release dates. But I think that's just a general thing. What happens in Japan?
Oh, it happens with movies all over the place, doesn't it? The question is there an audience for it?
Yes.
I think Pokemon's quite big, so I would imagine
it's massive, especially with the fact that they've got the Detective Pikachu film coming out this year as well with Ryan Reynolds. That comes out this year. They've also got the next generation Pokemon game coming out this year on Switch. So this year really is pretty much the year of Pokemon.
The year of collecting them all.
Yes,
again.
And I will be going to buy the game
and go to
seeing the movie, and then I think I might just wait for this one to come out on DVD to get it.
Surely you want to see it on a big screen.
It's just the same film. I've got a big screen behind me. Well, you can't see it; it's round the corner. So I've got a 4K screen around there, so it's fine. I'll watch it on there. But yes, so I'll be watching that. I want to make sure Pikachu doesn't talk like he did in the most recent Pokemon film that got released.
Well, I've never seen a Pokemon film. I didn't realise Pikachu did talk.
He didn't. He doesn't. That's the thing.
He doesn't.
No,
right,
he doesn't.
Okay. You just want to confirm that he doesn't.
Well, in the recent Pokemon film, I think it was kind of like a combination of the film that they're remaking now and the first series of Pokemon, and they kind of condensed it all into like a miniature film.
I have a feeling that if I express more ignorance, you're going to give me the whole history.
I will
of Pokemon.
do just to make this.
We haven't got time.
Just to make it go on for another hour. But yes, it annoyed a lot of people and surprised a lot of people the fact that he just started talking out of nowhere.
Okay.
So it was kind of like.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog having really muscular legs.
Yes, what the hell is going on there? It's well known that the only Pokemon that talks is Meowth, which is a cat Pokemon, and that's the only one because that's his thing. He talks.
Right.
So the fact that Pikachu talks, who's never talked before ever in 20 odd years, is a big thing. And it was just, I think there's videos on YouTube that you can look up where people are just like in the cinema recording it, and then he starts talking, and they're just like, "What the hell's going on?" Yeah. So. Right, next.
Right, so that's quite exciting for you.
Yes, for me.
When's that coming out? Do you know when it's coming out?
Like I said, I think in Japan it's April or May, and I think in the UK and all over it's November. So, like I said, it's quite a big.
Got to translate it, obviously, so that Pikachu's voice can really be heard properly. And
he would not be talking. He would not be talking in this one. I refuse. Right then. DC time. The Batman is reportedly set to start filming around November time this year. but we still don't have a Batman.
Start filming in November this 2019,
yeah.
Coming out in what, 2021?
No, 2020.
You reckon?
Yeah, because I think most films usually take around 6 weeks to actually film it, maybe 8 weeks to film, and then obviously all the rest is like pickups, special effects and things. So
it's got Ben Affleck on IMDb. It's saying Ben Affleck.
He was originally.
It does say rumoured, and it hasn't been updated for a while. Doesn't have a release date.
Well, originally, obviously, they announced that he was going to be doing it. In fact, he announced himself that he was going to be directing it.
Oh, okay.
But then they said that he was going to be acting in it, and now he's obviously stopped doing the whole DC films altogether. He's no longer the Batman, and they don't currently have a Batman cast at all.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Who'd want to be that rather boring character?
Well, I mean, it's difficult because it's such a weird thing, because I don't particularly like any of the Batmans. And I think
Batsman.
I think the problem is the actual character of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
I don't think he's rubbish. I just think
He's not a superhero.
It's been done to death, and I think they need to move on to I think they need to move on to a different version of Batman. And they did do a animation, and obviously they did a comic book strip where it was like a future version, and it wasn't Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne was kind of the Alfred, and he had a protege. And a lot of people.
Robin.
Well, no, it wasn't Robin. It was just some other random kid, I think.
A pseudo Robin.
Yeah, but he was the new Batman. So a lot of people were really in love with that comic series and the actual animation as well. What they did, I can't remember off the top of my head what the animation was called. Even though I used to watch it, it was on. I remember it used to be on CITV. God, kids. Here you go, kids. CITV.
Does that not still exist?
It did, but I was talking about when it was on normal terrestrial TV on Channel 3 on ITV.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, CITV.
I think it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It would pop on. But yeah, it was one of those.
Right. Well, okay, another Batman film. I can see, DC. They've got the money. They're going to make another film, but boy, oh boy, they need to sort out their movies because they're so po-faced and dull.
Yeah, they take themselves too seriously.
Yes, absolutely. Marvel have really done wonders for the superhero film.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, most of the Marvel films aren't amazing, but they are really good at what they do.
But they're fun. Yeah. Absolutely, they don't take themselves seriously. They have a laugh. And everyone goes.
I mean, at the end of the day, the people running around in spandex.
Yes,
and how can you take someone seriously running around in spandex?
Yeah, it's super spandex.
Exactly. So you can't. That's why it's always got these funny moments in the Marvel films.
Yeah.
And you just don't really find them that often in the DC ones.
No, you don't.
But it's a nice refresher when we're talking about. Shazam the other month.
Oh yeah, we did. We talk about Shazam,
and that's another DC one. So obviously they are going off their usual track of being overly serious.
Well, I hope so, because at the moment I go in and I go into a DC
expecting the worst
with a heavy heart, and I'm only going in because.
Have you seen Aquaman yet? Because I know obviously you're a fan. Yeah.
No,
right.
It might still be in the cinemas. I might get a chance.
It should be. Yeah. It'll probably be until at least the end of this month, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So yes. Now this one, I think, is just a bit of a flashback to late 90s, maybe mid 2000s. Kevin Smith begins pre-production on a Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Oh, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith.
I had to look up when I saw this, and apparently there are 9 films under the Jay and Silent Bob heading.
Are they including things like Dogma in that?
Well, it's funny you should mention Dogma, because Dogma is the only one that I have seen.
Right.
That of a only film I've seen with Jay and Silent Bob. And if people listening or watching haven't seen Dogma, go and watch it.
It's a brilliant film.
Really, really good film. It's called Dogma, and it is excellent.
It is
really worthwhile seeing.
And they're all set in the similar universe. I can't remember what the universe is called, but in his
right.
I forgot what the I think it's named after the area.
It's the View Askew-niverse.
Right. I know there was another. I think there was another name for it. I think it was to do with the area that the films are based in, or something. Like it's one of the weird states. It's like like Illinois. So it's not one of the states that you automatically think of. I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't mention that on the...
No, it won't. I think that's like the fan named for the universe or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he has.
Oh, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Leonardo,
New Jersey. Yeah, I think a lot of them are set. Yeah, I think a lot of them are set in New Jersey, and I think it's kind of like the whole Cornetto trilogy thing with Simon Pegg, where. I don't. It's not officially called the Cornetto trilogy, is it? But it's the fact that in each of the films, he's eating a bloody cornetto.
It pretty much is.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think we obviously with Kevin Smith, his films either hit or miss, don't they? And I think they're very much a cult film, like cult classic films for some people.
Yeah, they're kind of stoner films, aren't they?
Yeah.
With a certain sort of following.
I want to say, did he do that Tusk film?
No, is it too long after? I mean, I don't know when the last one was, but it seems a little bit like we haven't seen anything for a long time.
Well, I think the last thing that I remember, and it's one of my guilty pleasure films, even though it didn't have Jay and Silent Bob in it, it had Kevin Smith directed it, and it had the other guy in the film.
Right.
Was Zack and Miri Make a Porno, if you've ever seen that film. That has Seth Rogen and...
No, I haven't seen it.
Let me just double check what her name is.
Oh, no, the reason I was thinking about the podcast, my dad wrote a porno.
Right.
Quite funny if you want to.
Elizabeth Banks as Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks as the named people on the film. Obviously Zack and Miri, but Kevin Smith directed that, and like I said, Jason Mewes, who's the other half of Jay and Silent Bob, he stars in the film, but not as Jay.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, I know Jason Mewes is 44 now. Kevin Smith, I think, is nearly 50, he's 48, and I don't know whether it's just a bit too
too late.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like
maybe.
I mean, people tend to grow up, don't they? Obviously, as they get older, and just to change anyway themselves.
When the developers did God of War, the recent one, Kratos was older, and all the developers had children. So
it makes sense.
Kratos has got a kid.
But then if they're doing a Jay and Silent Bob thing, and then you just know they're going to be pretty much the same two stoners stood outside the video rental shop.
Yeah, they should keep it like that. But yeah,
but then again, like, can they pull it off?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it might just end up looking a little bit sad. But it'd be interesting to see how they might go the route of the Cornetto. What's the last one? The
Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.
The something to do with the pub, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it the World's End?
Well, yes, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
the World's End.
The World's End. It might go that route where, obviously, at the beginning, obviously they're all young, aren't they?
Yes,
the
and you
whole
start
thing.
off as them rejoining or
when they're all grown up, like 20 years later.
Yeah, and there's one person that's still clinging on to you.
Yeah, it might go that route. Yeah, it might be whereas, it might be Silent. It might be Jay, who's obviously grown up, and Silent Bob's still there,
maybe
doing his thing.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we'll see. So watch out for that. That'll probably end up coming out next year at some point because the special effects won't be that staggering in the film.
I would imagine. But I just repeat, go and watch Dogma. It is a really good film.
I don't know if it's on. Is it on Netflix right now?
Well, I'm sure we can find out.
Yeah, let me have a look. So I've got. Is it going to come up? Here we go. Is Dogma on British Netflix? No, it is not currently.
Okay, I'll check on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes. But Dogma is a great film. Like I said, Jay and Silent Bob are in it as well, but obviously it's not centric around them. They're also in Mallrats, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and they also obviously they have their own individual film called Jay and Silent Bob, and I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's right.
As well.
Mallrats,
So
Clarks.
yes.
I can't seem to find Dogma on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
I think you'd have to get it on DVD or
Nefarious means.
some other streaming service.
Yes. Right then, so that has been episode 2 of Gaming Geek. Thank you very much for joining me today, Kings. It was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave us a rating on all podcast streaming services that we are currently on. Like I said, I know we're on iTunes and Google Play
Tell
Music.
us you love us.
Exactly. I do believe as well being on the Google Play also sends us to some of the other actual streaming services. Is it Podplay?
I've no idea. I've not heard of that one.
But not just specifically Google Play. It will send us to other apps that you have in your phone. So yes, thank you very much, guys, for listening. We should be back next Thursday. Like this episode, it will be going live on we're on 9th, the 10th today. Yeah, it'll be 10th. So we'll be back next Thursday on the 17th. And from us to you, we shall see you next time, guys.